Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about running competitions on Twitter. There are 3 different ways to do it, and what I would say is Twitter isn't the most friendly towards these competitions. Not that they are against them, but the processes that you have to go through, it's not quite as responsive or as easy to kind of make it happen. However, I do know we've had quite a few questions from members both on the Facebook group, from the Twitter guys, as well as some of the people who aren't on either of those networks right now on email. So what I thought I'd do is just show you very quickly how this all works in practice. So the very first way you have is by just simply doing a tweet within Twitter, and you could say win my stuff, maybe put an image up there and say to enter you can retweet. Now up in here in the notifications you will find that as people retweet you can pick a winner from there. It isn't perfect. It's going to be quite tough to make that kind of work, but you will get quite a lot of entries as long as you have a decent following. The second way is basically you can say to enter, go and visit this URL, wherever that may be, and you would host it somewhere either on your own website or a landing page where specifically people will have to exchange information for an entry. So an email address or a mobile phone number. So if we're talking good, better, and best, good would be retweets. Better would certainly be to get somebody to come to you and change an exchange an email or a phone. So something that means that you're not restricted to having to start from zero every single time. So after all, if you're giving this away, if all you have is retweets, yes, you have maybe some potential engagement, but it's not very strong. The connection's not very strong. Obviously, the better the prize, the more likely people are to exchange that information with you. Now, obviously, the amount of entries you get will be lower. However, what you will start to find is that you're building a database that you can use both offline. Also, you can use it on email marketing. You can input that into Facebook if you chose to try and attract people across there as well. And that's the second way to do things. The third way, which is probably the most effective and certainly something that not a lot of people are using, is something called Twitter cards. So for this, what you'll need to do is sign up, or the easiest way to do it is to sign up for Twitter advertising. Doesn't mean you have to pay any money, doesn't mean you have to run any advertising, but the key is that you do sign up for it. The good news is that typically gives you access to analytics as well. So you'll find this up here as you click your image, then you've got an option here. So we're already signed up. So we have Twitter ads and analytics. You can find it in analytics, but that really is for reporting. So if you went over to here to Twitter ads and click that, this should just open up a new tab for you. Okay, so now we are over here. Let's see. So this kind of gives us takes us right into the advertising portal. And where you want to be is you want to come up here to creatives and then cards. So with Twitter cards, the idea between cards is it's something that can be attached to a tweet, but what it allows the user to do is almost with one click share their email data with you without having to leave Facebook. So obviously that's very powerful for, I said Facebook, apologies, for Twitter. So without having to leave Twitter, they can basically share their details with you, enter the competition, you get good data, and then bang, they don't have to go and do something else. So this, again, probably won't get as many entries as the retweet option, but everybody that enters you will have a piece of data. And what you do is you just create a card up here. And basically, you'll end up then with something that looks a little like this. So if we look at the card here, it kind of gives us the information. So if we wanted to view the card or edit the card, it asks you for a headline. Much the same, it gives you character image, certainly an image. If you're doing free, so like I'm going to show you here, then put an image in. If you're paying for advertising, i.e. a sponsored post, it's quite tough because you're paying per click often. And if they click the image, even if they don't click the actual website you're trying to send them to, you still get charged. You can write in your own call to action here, which is great. So it could be enter now, enter the competition, win, etc. And then you just need to make sure you've got a privacy policy set somewhere on your website. So again, we've got this here, and then we tell people where to go once they've entered. Now, once that is done, so I'll just go back to the card, and it's very, very easy to do. Once it's there, you can then write a tweet with the card. So here it instantly drops in the card. It uses a little space, so it uses 23 characters. So again, don't forget with Twitter, you're trying to leave space for retweets. So now we would say something like 21 ways to increase your Facebook likes. Free report. So again, I'm not suggesting you would necessarily advertise Facebook on Twitter and vice versa, but occasionally there is an overlap, and you want to keep somewhere between 20 and 40 characters left. If you want to pay to get this always up there, then you can put this here. So whenever you see promoted post, that's how they've done it. If you want to schedule it for some time in the future, again, you can do that. Or alternatively, you can leave it as a standard tweet, and that's what I'm going to do here. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and tweet that. So now we have, if you imagine your competition was in there, I'm just going to press finish. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our Twitter feed. So just bear with me a second while I do that. So you can see, here we go. So now if I look at the tweets, okay, so you should be able to see here now. There we go. So the Twitter has come up now. It's loaded the image. It's given us the data, and then it's also got the download now button. So imagine that being an enter now competition button, for example. And if I wanted to go ahead and press that, it gives me the option. It says as a user, are you sure? We're about to share the name and address, and you're going to use this particular email address. So now I can just hit yes, download now, or if yours says enter now. And what that will do is it will deposit the name or the email address and the name of that person into a CSV file, or it will go across into your email provider if you plumb that in. And again, that's very easy to do. So very interesting. What you can do then is, presuming you're doing this for free, and we know that suddenly, all your other tweets kind of take over, you have 3 dots under here, and if you click that and tell it to pin that to the profile page, whenever anybody goes to see your particular page, so if they click here or they follow one of your links, this will now always be the first thing they see. Even if you write another 100 tweets today, this will stay at the top until you literally unpin this from the profile page. Let me take you back to the cards again. So I'm just going to go back across. So here, as you can see, we have leads, and this little box here is just where literally you can then download those things. So when you press that, it downloads a CSV, and everybody that's entered that competition will now be sat in that spreadsheet. You can put that then into good use. You can advertise to those people. You can talk to them on Facebook if they're there, keep them on Twitter, add them to your email list. As long as they know what's kind of happening, then obviously that should be a positive way to go forward. So as I say, Twitter, whilst it isn't my first place necessarily for engagement in competitions, that is quite a handy way. Obviously, the same as we've just seen there, you could make that a sponsored post if you wanted to reach more people. And again, we'll cover that more in the Twitter advertising in future series. So I hope you found that useful. As always, I'm going to end by saying please do pop a note below if there's anything you don't understand. This is a first run through, so obviously, it may be the first time you're hearing about these Twitter cards. Just remember that once your competition's up, just go ahead and unpin that from the page. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to reading your comments below, and I hope you're having a great day.